Good afternoon everyone. Guys, good afternoon. तुम तो सुबह से वेट कर रहे थे, क्लास बंद हो जाए. हाँ, थोड़ी सच्चाई भी ज़रूरी है ना? Anyways, I am Samarjit Mishra. Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Too much said and done, but the intention of this seminar is very simple, which I'll start with a very small story, which goes like a very simple thing. So I used to do a BTech. How many BTech engineers are there? Anyone from BTech? None from BTech? Chalo, kahin to bache. So yeah, doing a BTech back at my college, and some senior comes to tell us that some IAS officer wants to come and speaks to the student regarding UPSC. So me being the CR in the first year, he told me it is your duty to get the students of your branch. And I was more like attendance milegi kya? Because see, logically speaking, we come for attendance. He said, हाँ. See, I know it. और ऐसा थोड़ी कि मैं एक दिन में सीधा यहाँ आ गया. I was a part of where you were sitting, right? So he said yes. And I told everyone, see, we can easily officially bunk classes, but the only point is we have to sit in the seminar hall. Great, we came there. For the first time in my life, I was speaking to, at least sitting in front of an IAS officer. Every time I have seen my father telling that collector is one who can change everything. But I never saw a collector in my life. And I believe many of you being the most empowered generation of today, has not seen a collector in presence in his personal cabin probably, right? So it was somehow a very good moment for me because we can see the people who are actually making the things being done on the ground. However, having said so, being an engineer, my entire focus was on getting a private placement. So I never ever thought about IAS per se. All I thought about was probably getting a good package and somehow a placement somewhere in any of the private companies. But obviously, after being joined as a software engineer, worked for 3 years, and then one fine day it kicked in. What exactly is my identity? Who exactly am I? Apart from the ID card that I have, if I forget it any day, गार्ड भैया वहीं से मना कर देंगे कि सर कार्ड लेके आइए तब अंदर जाएंगे. Irrespective of he knowing my face, who he seems to be seeing almost every day, yet without that ID card, there is no identity. So it hit a little, which obviously I believe strongly is actually an outcome, logical outcome of age. Right now, all of you are in your early 20s. Maybe some of you have not yet hit 20s. What you all think of right now is probably doing a degree, enjoying the degree as much as you can, and then sochenge, right? My whole point is that you do everything what you are doing right now, just fasten up the process of sochenge. So that is the reason why I stand in front of you. So I hope I am coming to this area after 3 years. And the last memory I had is the Yamuna Expressway and taking a left from the Knowledge Park to metro station. And the last time I came over here was to pick up Ishita Kishore, All India Rank 1 2022. Her home is actually the same way only. That is what I can all remember. So I was just thinking, what makes an IAS officer? See, let me tell you something. The kind of aura that has been created around this exam and what exactly this exam is all about, there is a huge difference between it. Rather, the more you understand this exam, the more you will understand that if you have potential, if you believe in yourself, this is an exam which can quite comfortably be cleared. Now you may say, sir, ऐसे कैसे बात कर रहे हैं? आज तक तो सुना था कि IAS सबसे tough exam है. Let me tell you, it is not a tough exam, but it is basically an organized exam. And there is a huge difference between something which is difficult and something which is tough. See, tough challenges are high. Organized, mental application needed is high. Because that application of mind needed is so high, hence we see only a few, handful of people who are able to calculatively prepare for this exam. And those are the people who actually qualify for this exam. So at the very first step of introducing you to civil services, let me tell you, irrespective of whatever you have heard about this exam, it is an exam which is doable. And let me tell you a very simple point about it. Every year 1000 students are qualifying it. If they can do it, you can also do it. Having said so, let me also quote you the UPSC report of the recent past, which says that most of the students who are qualifying this exam do not come from tier 1 metro cities, nor from great institutes, nor are 9-pointers. Rather, these are average students coming from basically average colleges. The only point that we understand is that they have put some extraordinary effort. Now the point is, see, we are here around 200-250 students. Suppose logically आज ये 200-250 बच्चों का एक WhatsApp ग्रुप बना दिया जाए. आप एक चीज समझिए कि right now all of you more or less are equally placed, irrespective of whatever background you come from, irrespective of what you are thinking right now. More or less most of you are equally placed, isn't it? But if you make a WhatsApp group today itself, do not do anything with that group for the next 10 years, and after 10 years just do a survey of what are these 250 people doing. You will figure out that not everyone will be equally placed. Some people will be really doing great. Some people will be doing great. Okay. Some people will be stable. Some people will be unstable. Some people will be struggling for life. Now the question is, if all of you are placed almost equally today, what makes the difference in the next 10 years? And I'll tell you by my experience, it is not next 10 years. It is basically the next 3 years. My understanding simply says, and I interact with close to 15,000 students a year at Vajiram, and apart from many thousands of students like you in different colleges, my experience is that whatever you will do for the next 3 years will decide your next 30 years, period. If you are going to put in some effort for the next 3 years, you will reap the benefit of those in the next 30. If you are going to enjoy your life like anything reckless, okay, then also the outcome of it will be visible in the next 30 years. Now it is up to you what kind of a life you want to bring in. Just now I was having a word with your faculty and we were just discussing about students, and we both agreed to a point that the attention span of students have come down because of multiple factors, one of them being availability of online platform of education. Having said so, let me tell you, but that is an average number of probably 95% or 96% who are not having an attention span. But what about the rest 4 or 5? The point is, you need to understand that 4 or 5% people are only going to make changes in life. So if you are a person who is looking forward to having an extraordinary life, think about it. ये आपको सोचना है, ये दुनिया में कोई आपके लिए नहीं सोच सकता है. So if you are a person who is looking for that little extraordinary life, if you are looking at a person who wants to lead the things he or she does, if you are looking at a person who believes in social prestige and a stable job, if you believe in a person that who wants that he should be more of a solution provider than a problem seeker, ये टूट रखा है, वो बना नहीं है, ये रोड तो पूरा ही गया है. You are not on the other part of complaining. Rather, you want to become a person who can solve all of these things. Then UPSC Civil Services is a platform for you. Now remember, like Rome was not built in a day, you will also not become an IAS officer in a day. It is going to take some good amount of effort. And let me tell you something, the earlier you start, the earlier you will reach. Which means I'm not telling you that compromise your fun days at college. I'm not telling you that whatever you do, you must compromise it entirely. What I'm all trying to do is, let's enjoy 90% of the life the way we are enjoying. Probably let's start making a small incremental change of 10%. For example, let's start hitting a newspaper from tomorrow morning itself. If not an entirely reading a newspaper, all of us have got social media. Let's follow some news channel and probably scroll through to know what is happening in and around every day. See, understand one thing, even if you go for a private sector job, or entrepreneurship or any public sector job in future, whatsoever you go for, at the end of the day, you are going to be measured on the platform of how informed you are. Right now, your information base is your syllabus. But once that syllabus is done and you join a company, even if it is a private one, how do you think your manager will have his eyes on you? The simple point is how innovative you are. And that innovation won't fall from sky. For that you have to work out, probably you need to read a few books. Probably you have to something for which you can give an original idea. And that is what makes the difference. Because once you are into it, you will start making incremental changes to your own life. Probably tomorrow, you'll start following a newspaper handle. Day after tomorrow, you might buy a newspaper. Maybe the next month, you will carve out a plan to probably sit on the table for another 1 hour. And probably if it suits you, in the next 6 months, you will be studying every day for another 2 or 3 hours. My intention of standing in front of you is this only. That is because of a simple mathematical data. See, let me tell you that every year UPSC files a report, and in the report it talks about the general selection in probably the last 1 decade and the specific selection, the idea of it in the last year. The UPSC 23 report simply says that most of the people qualifying civil services are in the age group of 21 to 25 years. Let's try logically understanding what UPSC is saying. वो क्या बोल रहा है, कौन सा सिलेक्शन पैराडाइम होता है, एज स्पेक्ट्रम क्या है, 21 से 25 years, which means these are your initial attempts. Now having said so, keep this on one side of your mind. Having said so, I hope all of you know that the UPSC syllabus is a huge syllabus. That's why many a time it is also called as mother of all examinations. Because whatever you read in any of the examination will be a small part of the UPSC syllabus itself. Now having said so, logically you can understand that if there is a huge syllabus that has to be covered in due course of time, per my experience I will tell you that time is close to 1.5 to 2 years. Which means even if you start preparing for this exam today itself, you are going to take another dedicated almost 2 years time to find your name in that list. Now that 2 years time that I am talking about remains constant. Whether you start your preparation today, or whether you start your preparation after 3 years, or whether you start your preparation after probably joining a private job, getting frustrated and coming back after another 7, 8 or 10 years. Those 2 years are going to remain constant. Now the catch is, if those 2 years are going to remain constant and the number of selection is happening in early years, then logically there is only one outcome of it. And that is, people who are qualifying this exam have started their preparation early in their college days. I was talking to you about Ishita Kishore. Let me quote a few names if you are interested in civil services. Have you ever come across a name called Tina Dabi? I hope you must have come across it. Or her sister Riya Dabi. Or Shruti Sharma, the one who became All India rank 1 after Ishita itself. Or Aishwarya Verma, who was rank 4. If you look at all of these names, these are all top rankers of UPSC in the last 10 years who have made a great name for themselves in our eyes today. Now if you look at what is common between all of them, then let me tell you, most of them are girls. Second, almost all of them are DU students. Number 3, all of them are Vajram students. But I will tell you something more. All of them started their preparation when they were in their first or second year of graduation. Rather, to tell you more, a fact that we came to know probably after 2 years is that Aishwarya Verma, Shruti Sharma and Ishita Kishore were in the same classroom itself. Making sense? What I'm all trying to tell you is that if you start early, there is a good amount of chance that you will be able to click this exam early. Having said so, let me also tell you, there are many myths around this exam which stops us probably starting early for this exam. For instance, one of the thing I was trying to tell you is that it is a very, very tough exam, or the syllabus is huge. Many a time we come across ideas like, यार कुछ भी पूछ लेता है ना? I hope you must have watched a comedian Bassi, who keeps on making one joke, right? कि यूपीएससी में तो यार कुछ भी पूछता है, एक बार पूछ ला कि कौन सा ऊंट पानी में तैर सकता है. I hope you must have come across it, isn't it? See, let me tell you something. If you are a serious aspirant, you pray to God that God ऐसे सवाल ज़्यादा आने चाहिए. Let me tell you something. All of you have almost no clue about civil services, okay? But let me tell you this question, and let me also tell you why civil service is beautiful. So the question asked was in 2016, and the question for which Mr. Bassi is known very well in India is that there is a camel called Kharai camel, Kharai, Kharai camel, Khara pani, Kharai camel. Consider the following statement regarding the Kharai camel. Statement number 1 says it can swim in water up to 3 kilometers, and that was the joke all about. क्या हम दुनिया भर के सारे ऊंट के बारे में पढ़ें जो 3 किलोमीटर तैरते हैं? The second was it feeds on mangroves. अगर आपको थोड़ा भी आइडिया है तो सी के कोस्टल एरिया में जो वेजिटेशन होता है उसको मैनग्रोव कहते हैं, और ऊंट सबको पता है वेजिटेरियन है तो पत्ते ही खाएगा. और तीसरा स्टेटमेंट था that it cannot be domesticated by man. एक चीज बताइए, ऐसा कौन सा जानवर है जिसको इंसान ने डोमेस्टिकेट नहीं किया है? मिडिल ईस्ट में तो शेरों को डोमेस्टिकेट कर रखा है, तो ऊंट तो वैसे भी हो जाएगा. मेकिंग सेंस? If you apply your common sense that yes, a camel can be domesticated, then your question gets solved there, because all other options will get cut out and only one option will remain. Which means UPSC was not testing whether you know Khadai camel or not. UPSC was simply testing if you can read English better or not. That's why I told you it is not a tough exam. It is an organized exam. If you can organize your preparation, your chances of qualifying this exam increases multifold. And that organization must start somewhere when you were in your college days itself. Which means what I'm all trying to tell you is that please start investing some time to a competitive exam. It is not necessary that you are looking at civil services alone. You never know your inner calling. That might change with time. You might prepare for civil service exam for 4 years and then one fine day I am going to become a startup entrepreneur. But then to become that entrepreneur also you need to have ideas, and for ideas you should be good with books. So my submission in front of you will be very simple, that if you are looking to make a career which is extraordinary for you, probably civil service. On that note, what I am all trying to say is you never know when life can change. Since you are in your college days, this is one of the best platforms where you can start the preparation. Now why I am saying so? Let me put in certain logical points. When you are in your college days, no matter how much you are invested in college, कितनी मैक्सिमम पढ़ाई होती है कॉलेज में? कितने घंटे होगी? Never ever crossing 8, no matter what, isn't it? दिन में 24 घंटे होता है. अगर आप 8 घंटे भी सोएंगे, चलिए 10 घंटे सो लीजिए, तो भी आपके पास लगभग 6 से 8 घंटे बचते हैं. अगर आप उन 6 से 8 घंटों में 2 घंटे की भी मेहनत कर सकते हैं, you will be building an extraordinary career. Now let me tell you something. When I say that you please work out for 2 hours or 2.5 hours or 3 hours or read a newspaper or read a book, let me tell you something very, very frankly. By doing so, you are not doing any favor on me, or you are not doing any favor on your teachers or your peers or your elders who are telling you to do so. What you are all doing is you are investing some time for a better future of yours. What I had to do or your parents or your teachers had to do, they have already done it. They are already standing at a point. Now it is your turn and time to probably make a career out of yours. And all of us here will agree to the fact that not all of us will have a smooth life. Now whether to have that smooth life or not entirely depends on you. ये आपकी जिम्मेदारी है कि आपकी लाइफ आप कैसे बनाएंगे. See, probably today we meeting over here may not make any sense to you. Probably we meeting here would make some sense to some guys, and probably we meeting here will make some sense to some guys down the line after 2 years. But whatever the case may be, if it is having an impact on you, you take it as a sign that probably you can invest some time in making a better future. Now to do that, let me tell you how to do that also. Majorly in India, because of a great aura around civil services, many of us commit to the services in the sense that I want to become an IAS officer. Making sense? And that is always around 10% of the studious population who believes that they can become 10%. Who can become civil servant. For instance, let me ask you this question. How many of you know about civil services? Know about it? बाकी लोग कहाँ रहते हैं? बांग्लादेश में? आप जब कॉलेज आए थे तो अपना डोमिसाइल बनवाया था? नहीं? Good. Then I believe our country is going in the right path. हाँ? बढ़िया सी सोसाइटी बना रहे हैं हम, जहाँ पे लोगों को सिविल सर्विसेज के बारे में पता नहीं है. Fine, good going. अच्छा, any one of you who wants to prepare for civil services? Great. Good. That is only the mathematics. Not everyone is going to prepare for it. And that is majorly because the myth around it. जैसे कि मैं आपको बताया कि it is very tough. It is not. For example, घंटों पढ़ने की जरूरत होती है. I have seen many of the people saying you need to study 10 to 12 hours a day. Any one of you who studies for 10 to 12 hours a day? कोई है ऐसा इस भीड़ में? Good, great, thank you. कोई बोलता मुझे कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाता है. अच्छा, how many of you study for around 6 hours a day? Anyone? 6 घंटा एक दिन में. एग्जाम से एक दिन पहले की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, रोज की बात कर रहा हूं. None of us. There are hardly people who study for 6 or 8 hours a day for 365 days. What you can all do is you can pull out around 2 hours a day for almost 300 of 365 days. And that is more than enough to prepare for an exam like civil services. See, do not compromise your dreams because you didn't know about the process. Do not compromise on your dreams because somebody told you कि दिन में 14 घंटा पढ़ना पड़ता है. Do not compromise on your dreams because somebody said कि तुमसे नहीं होगा. Let's take it up. There are 1000 candidates qualifying this exam every year. That means there are 1000 different ways of qualifying this exam. Your way could be entirely different, but not necessarily wrong. The only point is probably you need a little bit of guidance to get into it. Now when I say guidance, let me tell you, I am not trying to sell any coaching over here. Let me very frankly tell you, I represent Vajiraman Ravi, which was established way back in 1976. It has been more than 5 decades that Vajiram has been there in Delhi. So IAS preparation is synonymous with Vajiram. There's no one in and around it. The whole point what I want to tell you is that we are not in dearth of admission. It is not like I have come over here so that we will get admission. Every year the waiting list waits around 1100 or 1200. We are not able to give admission to 1200 kids, which is 4 times probably the population of this room. Why I am here is because of a simple point. You never know what can change your life. Probably, if you listen to me, probably if you start working on yourself, probably after another 3 years, we will get another IAS officer from this room. To my knowledge and to bit of inquiry that I could do, there has been no civil servant from your alumni here. Why not to become the first one? What is stopping you from becoming something which nobody else has become here? You enjoy your days, you enjoy your classes, you enjoy your degree, but at the same time, you can invest some time to probably become something better than what all would be becoming. And that's what civil services is all about. Do not fall for the myths. Rather, college is the best platform where you can prepare for this exam. And that is why every year most of the students qualifying this exam comes from Delhi University. DU is the source where most of the civil servants are being done. And the reason being very simple. Number one, an ecosystem of civil kind of things. Making sense? If your college is providing you the infrastructure for that, do use it. I mean, how many times do you meet an IAS officer to speak to? Hardly. Let me tell you, no matter how much package you have, no matter which company you are placed in, no matter how much of a good car you drive, sometime, if time permits, do Google out the aura and power of an IAS officer and you'll get to know what she is. What I'm all trying to tell you is that you all have that potential to do. The only point is probably push yourself a little more. Please start doing it when you are in your college itself. As I was telling you, you are not having 24-hour engagement with the college. Even if you are into n number of co-curricular activities, you'll be able to push 3 or 4 days of 2 hours each. And that is more than enough to start. I'll tell you, more than enough. Because if you are able to spend almost 2 hours every day, and that too almost for 300 days in a year of 365, 3 mahine aap ghumiye, then also you will be having 600 added hours of knowledge to you. Making sense? And I hope you as students, graduates, know the difference between information, knowledge and wisdom. If you are still running behind information, then let me tell you, all of you are replaceable. AI or any internet corporation can come up with a tool to replace you with another program which can give you the information. I hope you understand the let me put that difference. Let me ask you a question, a very easy one. Who is the Prime Minister of India? Sri Narendra Modi, right? Anyone in this classroom जिसको ये नाम पता नहीं था कि सर अच्छा हुआ आप आए ग्रेटर नोएडा, वरना तो हमें पता ही नहीं था कि मोदी जी हमारे प्रधानमंत्री हैं. None, right? That's a piece of information. It is of no use. It's absolute useless. Any competitive exam or anyone who is looking at a person with credibility is not going to appreciate because he knows who is the Prime Minister of this country. Making sense? Let me ask you another question. How is the Prime Minister elected in India? Lok Sabha elections, okay? How do we elect our Prime Minister? Anyone? All of you are 18 plus, voter ID card होगा आपके पास. Vote नहीं किया होगा अलग बात है. How do we appoint our Prime Minister? There is no election of Prime Minister. Rather, any party which has the majority number of seats is invited by the president to form the government and the leader of that party becomes Prime Minister. Now that is knowledge. Just having the information that Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister is of no use. Making sense? Rather, the knowledge is to understand how he comes. Let me ask you another question. Do we really need a Prime Minister? How about we getting a Trump? What is the problem? Let's get a president. See, knowing that whether we are fitted for a prime ministerial system or a presidential system is called wisdom, the application of knowledge. If you are looking at any extraordinary exam or career in India, what you really need to have is knowledge and wisdom and not just mere information. Because information is a Google search away. However, knowledge and wisdom are to be built inside you. So since you are in your college days and you have good number of hours, please focus on building a good conceptual clarity on your knowledge and wisdom. The more knowledge and wisdom you have, the more you work on yourself, the more you will be able to climb up in your life. I hope you must have come across a name, Edmund Hillary, the person who climbed Mount Everest. After his successive failure also, he kept on climbing it. And ultimately when he climbed, he was asked, what made you confident that you can climb Mount Everest? To which he replied, that after successive failures, I understood one thing. Mount Everest is not going anywhere. It's a mountain, it will be there. But I am a human being. I can grow inside me. I didn't work on what will happen in Mount Everest. I worked on what will happen with me if I start climbing it. So the whole part of preparation was all on investing me, myself, and not on dreaming about climbing Mount Everest. And that's exactly life for all of you. No matter wherever you want to reach, only thinking that you will become someday something is of no use. Rather, you have to invest in yourself. Because every other thing that you are trying to achieve probably right now is stagnant. They won't grow, they will be there. But you as person, you as students, you will grow. Work on your growth. And the best time to do so is always the college days. This is the time when you are young enough to take multiple information and process it. As the age will grow, your capacity to process multiple information into knowledge will also reduce. Making sense? You may be able to know more, but only about a specific arena. You will not have the craze to know about multiple things with the multiple intensity you have right now. That is what college gives you. Number 3, the best test time of your life is also college. See, ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है कि अगर आप ये मान ले कि आप IAS बनेंगे तो आप IAS बन जाएंगे, क्योंकि सिर्फ कमिटमेंट से कुछ नहीं होगा. इस एग्ज़ाम को क्लियर करने के लिए कंसिस्टेंसी की भी ज़रूरत है. तो अगर आप कंसिस्टेंट हैं और आप कमिटेड भी हैं तो आप क्लियर करेंगे. बट द पॉइंट इज, इन ड्यू कोर्स ऑफ टाइम you may come up with multiple opportunities in your life. Where do you test those things? Whether you are one for private sector, public sector, entrepreneurship, NGO, whatever it is, that is college. So do explore your college platform for any kind of a professional career you want to build up. The more you can try doing that, the more chances you will have a matured and concrete mindset by the time you passed out. What I'm all trying to tell you is, there used to be one story in India that if anyone wants to become a collector or a IAS officer, they used to get done with their graduation, then probably get into masters, probably sometime even join a job, and then would leave everything and would come to a place called Old Rajendra Nagar and they will prepare. What I am all trying to tell you is that please do not do that. You may increase the income for us, the institutes, but I am telling you, please don't do it. Rather, I am telling you, please stay back in your hostel rooms, in your homes, and prepare for it. Unless and until you don't feel like you are one who is 100% made for this, no point of wasting your resources on coaching institutes. Because since I represent one, it is also important and ethical for me to tell you the standards, or rather the status of coaching center. Let me tell you, no coaching center will make you a collector. Absolutely no, period. What all a coaching center can do is probably it can work like a catalyst. Probably something that you have done in 3 years, a coaching center will be able to teach you that in the next 10 to 11 months. And that's all what a coaching center does. For instance, I can start teaching you right now Indian polity. Let's suppose any topic like elections. And we will enjoy the class. You will laugh on my jokes. We both will laugh and you will understand many things. However, after another 2 hours, you are only familiar about the subject called elections. But with familiarity, you cannot qualify this exam. So you need to go back home and work out on that topic. That will convert the familiarity of the topic to the understanding of the subject. And anyone who has got understanding of the subject is the one who qualifies for it. So any exam that you are looking for, not just UPSC, any exam that you are looking for, if you are of a mindset that I will join an institute and that will get me cleared or that will push me to the other side, let me tell you, you are placed at the wrong thinking position. You really need to change it. And the best time to have that little discipline in your life is your college days. Let me not sound very, tense and serious. What I'm all trying to say is we all have an opportunity to make something good of our life. And it all depends on us. We may take this call today, we may take this call after 5 years. But the point is, at the end of the day, it is us only who has to take that call. If you have that potential in you and you feel that you can prepare and probably click this exam, my submission is very simple. Then you please start today. Rather than thinking मैं कभी करूँगा, it is better that you start today. Because nothing is going to give you a platform and an exposure like your college itself. The real personality development of individuals actually takes place in college. Do not compromise your college. Add on to college. Making sense? Otherwise, many of you might take a call for any competitive exam, especially civil services, probably down the line after 5 years. And as I said, you add another 2 years of education to it, that will take your age to another 27 and 28 years. By the time UPSC is not interested taking you. Because UPSC believes in a phrase called catch them young. The younger you catch people, the talented one, the easier it is to mold them. The older you recruit people, they already have a concrete value system. It is difficult to mold them. Hence you look at the behavior of young IAS officers and young PCS officers. Young IAS officer comes in the age group of 21 to 25 years. Young PCS officer comes in the age of 30 to 36 years. Both are called young. जैसे इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स में युवा नेता 40 साल के बाद होता है, वैसे अब 40 साल के आदमी का वैल्यू सिस्टम नहीं चेंज करा सकते हैं, लेकिन 21-22 साल के आदमी को बता सकते हैं कि सोसाइटी चेंज हो रही है. So please start working on it. Making sense? Huh? Now, if you're interested in civil service, my only point will be start generating some interest on it. Probably start hitting some books in the next 1 or 2 months time. Right now, you may not need a lot of guidance that I have to prepare unless and until you have been preparing a little bit on it and now you need a direction. If that is the case, then my team will get in touch with you. But the point is, if you are one who is trying to generate an interest, then probably it's high time you should look at multiple things. Probably you should start watching series and all which are based on civil services or history. For example, in Sony Live has come a very good series, Freedom at Midnight. I will tell you, when I was preparing, there was nothing like this. I don't know how many history books I have read to understand this. Now after watching that series, I was thinking to myself, यार अपने टाइम पे तो नहीं था, इतनी सारी किताबें पढ़नी पड़ी, ये तो बढ़िया याद रहेगा. Making sense? Point is, use these kind of platforms. Once you start investing yourself, you will see your entire personality will change. You'll become a different person. For instance, do one thing. Before you sleep every night, read 20 pages of any book that you want. कोर्स की बोलूँगा तो कोई नहीं पढ़ेगा, तो कोर्स की पढ़नी भी नहीं है. आप किसी भी किताब के जो आपका सिलेबस नहीं है, 20 pages हर दिन पढ़िए. You will see what kind of a potential you have in next 6 months. You will change as a person. My only point of being available in front of you is very simple. If you have that fire inside you, you must spread your wings. If you have the potential, high time to fly. Don't waste your time and say that there was no one to guide me, hence I didn't do it. There is always a guidance whenever and wherever you want to avail it. Start working on your journey, because all of you down the line in 10-15 years are going to crave out your own journey. Since all of us to do something, why not to do something big? And that big right now and since the last 70 years in India is at least civil services. If you're thinking of it, do work on it. Making sense? If you have any question, I'll be more than happy to answer it.